back. The Corvette was having an issue with the shifter cable. Y'all might have saw a couple videos a couple years ago with the bushings that I changed on the shifter cable. This time it wasn't the bushing, it was the actual cable. Now the cable broke years ago and I kind of zip tied everything back together, the little plastic around it. But this time zip ties broke, cable broke again, and the actual, let me show you, there you go, the actual cable broke. So wasn't a quick fix. So this time it was time for a full replacement. So got a new cable. My brother ordered this off of eBay. So yeah, I just got a bunch of pictures on this one. So my bad, y'all. There's a lot of music and stuff playing over here. And yeah, couldn't really record and work this time. But I'm gonna walk y'all through roughly what had to be done. Now, got the quick jack set up and all. So basically, I don't even think I showed it right here. But you can actually put the transmission into gear. So that's how I got it home in the first part of the video. All right, so if you own the driver's side of the transmission, this is what you actually move to get it into gear. So right now that's park, flip it forward, that's reverse, forward one more, that's neutral. This is where you do most of your work at. Flip it one more, that's drive. And then after drive, that's when you got all the other ones. So this is that's three, like third gear or whatever, or third highest gear, however they call it. The second, two, and this is one, so that's the far forward. But neutral is where you're working at. All right, and again, sorry for all the pictures, couldn't record, but you gotta get the exhaust off next. So you got these two bolts right here. These are either 13s or 15s. Everything is 13s and 15s on the exhaust. You got those two. You got the bolts that go up at the header. One of mine is broken, so that's why I was missing one. It's 3 on each side. Then you got these two hanger bolts right here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit on those. Those come off. Those are towards the back. And then you got 2 on each exhaust at the very back, right by the transmission. Get all of those off. Get the O2 sensors unplugged. This is what you're working with. All right, next up, what seems completely unnecessary is you got this pan that sits right under the torque tube. It's 36 bolts. No reason in the world that should take 36 bolts, but 36. All of these were 8mm bolts, so it's a lot of them. You just got to deal with it. It's a bunch, but get all of those off, and then you can see the torque tube. All right, y'all. So once you get all of those bolts off, I didn't take pictures or record that part, so work with me. This is the cable. This end is what's hooked onto the transmission. There we go. I had a little pry tool, pop that off the transmission just like that. Super easy. This, I'll add in a picture. This is got a bracket bolted to it. Real hard to get to. One bolt is kind of low. I think that was a 13mm too. It's 2 13mm bolts. One down low, easy to reach. One up high, I had to use like a foot long extension to reach it and kind of be able to work with it. I'll overlay a picture of that. But that bracket sits here, comes off. It's got a little clamp thing in it. Again, I'll overlay all of that. Rest of the cable just kind of snakes up and over that torque tube. Super easy to work with. This is the part that hooks on the transmission. This is what was broke. What it is, it's a little bracket that this sits into. And basically, you can kind of see how that goes. So bracket is here. Cable pushes in, clamps in. So when it's time to get this off, I'm reaching from the bottom. So not with this, but with a screwdriver. Pressing up on this until this part kind of dips in just enough so I can push this backwards. And then kind of reached up top. It's hard to reach. Even if I was recording then, you still wouldn't be able to see because everything's so tight. But once this part is kind of loose, press down on the top, the whole cable pushes back out of that bracket. And then this sort of, you kind of got to snake it out, but it'll basically fall down and out. And then when you get ready to put it back in, this little piece, you slide this into the little bracket, like it's a little opening kind of like this. So you'll slide through the thin part and then you pull this cable forward like that. This will lock into place. It can only fit one way because of this little indentation part sitting out right here. That little C thing. There we go. Straighten up. There we go. All right, so yeah, that. So it'll only fit one way. So same with the back. So lock that in, snake the cable back over the torque tube, push everything around. You'll take the bracket off of the old cable, put the bracket on the new cable. Again, it'll only fit one way. Once you got the bracket on, you'll snake this up, bolt the bracket back in. This isn't connected yet. This isn't connected yet. Make sure this little thing is in real good, because mine wasn't. I'm still not sure how good it's in, but this snapped onto the cable onto the shifter just fine, and then this popped off and the bushing stayed on the shifter. So I think I got it snapped all the way in like how this one is now. Not sure, but I think it's all the way in. We'll figure it out later. But with the shifter in neutral and the transmission in neutral, which I showed you earlier what that looks like. But if you don't know, just shifter, or the actual transmission, it's like a little thing on it. Shift it all the way to the back, that's park. Shift it up 1, that's reverse. Up 2, that's neutral. So keep that in neutral. Keep the shifter in neutral. Connect this to the shifter. Connect this to the transmission. You might have to adjust the cable, this little part right here, depending on which cable you have. Mine was supposedly already set. I kind of tweaked it a little bit, but this little piece right here is up on some of the new ones. So kind of need to, let's see. I'm gonna see if I can pop this up, kind of show y'all. Give me a second. All right, so yeah, depending on which cable you get, this will be up, and this will allow you to kind of move how far you need to stretch the cable. It's like see the little teeth in there, but this will let you move this around until you get it in a good spot, which is why you want the shifter in neutral and the transmission in neutral. Get it to where you got it how you want it or how you need it, and then you press this down. That will lock this in place to where you can't move that back and forth anymore. Then you should be set. So at that point, this is connected, the bracket is connected, this is connected, and that is connected. Everything after that is just bolting everything back up. You might want to get in the car, turn the key, move it through the gears. I crunk it up with the exhaust off, super loud, kind of weird running, kind of weird sounding, but just to make sure that it goes into gear how you want it to. Put it back in park, do that 2 or 3 times just to make sure before you put everything else back together, because it's 36 bolts on that plate and then the exhaust. So it's a lot, but after that, you put everything back together, you should be good to go. I hadn't let this down yet. I was about to work on something else on it, but I couldn't find the part that I had because I bought it like last year. So yeah, but should be good to go.